Hello, welcome to the Gardening Channel. I'm your host, Mike Ventura. Certainly my pleasure to have you with us. So now I'm going to be talking to you about alkalinity, and we talked about pH in the soil tester that I work with. And I've got a sago palm here that's showing salt damage. And I'll pan back so you can see how it's all burnt over here? That's an indication of salt damage. And one thing about monocots, and a sago palm is a monocot, which means they're in the grass family. They're very, very sensitive to salt accumulation, salt buildup in the root zone. And what does that tell you? That means that salt in this area inside your root zone is not being flushed out. And what happens is the salt builds up in the root zone, around the root zone, and consequently you get this salt tip damage that you see right here. And you find that like on queen palms, it's very common on sagos. It's also very, very common on most landscape plant materials, especially acid-loving plants. When I say acid-loving, I'm talking about plants that want a low soil pH and extremely well-drained soil. How do you manage that? Well, first thing you want to do is you go through and you check your soil. And as I said, I use this little guy right here. Tells me what I have in my soil. And then if I need to make it more acidic, I'll go apply organic material to it. I can add gypsum to it because I want to bring the pH down. And by the way, what pH stands for is potential hydrogen. The more hydrogen you have in your soil, more oxygen, the more fertile the soil can be. So it's really important to have a very well drained soil, a lot of oxygen, keep the pH level right down where you want it. And also, on a previous video, I talked about what's really cool about this little guy is you can bend him to wherever you want it. And also, if you want to check your nutrient availability, you can move nutrients, moisture content, tells you how wet it is, dry, and light. And I'm in full sun environment. So I like to keep an eye on my soil pH to find out where we're at. Also, what's really cool, and I talked about in the previous video, that little guy right there is a photocell. So doesn't need any batteries. Does a great job. And just push it into the soil and you're good to go. And I got this online. Does a super job. But I really want to talk to you about as far as maintaining your nutrients. Also, what's really cool is when you see where your soil pH is at, and I keep showing this, is that you find out that your nutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, are more available when you get more into the acidic range. Not super acidic. You want a 6.5 to 7.0, and you can see where my soil pH is. So the new growth coming out of the sago palm is really doing very, very nice. So I want to just kind of touch base with you so you can see what this does and how it is in response to a palm, and you can use this with other type of plant material. Okay, so that gives you an indication of salt accumulation, salt buildup around the root zone. Again, you're going to find it building up inside your soil. The salt hangs around the root zone, and consequently gets drawn up by the plant, and it gets deposited. You can see on the edges of the leaf, like right there, that's salt tip burn, they call it. Okay, thank you very, very much. And again, if you enjoy the Gardening Channel, please hit subscribe. Okay, have a great day and take good care.